All right. Happy Monday. It's February 3rd, 2025. This is the Rants of Izzo on Spreely.com. Spreely TV, all things speak freely, free speech. Check them out. Check out the Burn Pit Podcast, Report and Opine, Shannon Joyce Show, Pete Santilli, free speech, social media, and so much more. Spreely.com brings you the Rants of Izzo here today. Let's have a show.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on this show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go. Ready, go!
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your host, Dominic Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones on so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
Hey, good afternoon. Happy Monday. Rants of Izzo Show here, Spreely.com. Are you speaking freely? Are you in a world where you could do that? Or are you going to get deported for having an opinion? I just don't know. It is what it is. It is Monday, so my co-host sit in the pilot chair. My co-pilot chair. I'm going to crash like a fucking Black Hawk helicopter today. I got Cliff Moore from Savagely Loud joined today. DEI hire, here on the program, but I just don't care. Do you want, are you racist if you don't want your little co-pilot to be a Asian Filipino fucking woman who's just DEI hire for you? What's this button do? I'm so tired, dude.
As long as you can do the fucking job, I don't really care.
I can't. I'm so no joke the other day again, and it's not a joke. I don't care what. We need to make stereotyping a thing again because they fit. The only time, tell me why when I get on my motorcycle and I ride, the only time I get that butthole pucker thing is when I see an Asian female woman at the intersection I'm coming up to, and I'm like, she gonna pull out? She gonna pull out, dude? Happens every time. We were watching some woman on I-90 going towards Chicago over the weekend, my dad and I, and there's a person in front of us weaving, slowing down. We're doing 70. This person's like doing 55. And I'm like, it's got to get up right there. 100% Asian female. It's like, why is it so horrible to recognize and acknowledge patterns in America? Cliff, what say you?
It's not horrible. It's used every day. The caveat is that you're just not allowed to do it if you have white skin. Yeah. You see, we white people are stereotyped every fucking day. Say something on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere about immigration, and you're going to get the same shit I've been getting for fucking 2 weeks now. White power much? Fitting haircut, buddy. It's going to happen. But if we say the shit, like we see a black dude knock over a liquor store and we say, hey, is anybody else shocked? What do you get? You can't stereotype it that way. Then you get a bunch of hate. So you're allowed to stereotype, just not if you're white.
It happens. There was Trump's new press secretary. Again, I don't recall her name, but I think she's doing a fantastic job. She was up discussing, well, what do you want? I'm paraphrasing. Do you want somebody who's going to sit there and fly the plane properly, or are you worried about somebody's DEI higher status? And everybody, well, not everybody. It's the people you would expect. It's black people and white women are in the comments section responding to my statement. I think I put in DEI is theft. That's what I put in there. And the amount of people who are after me saying, oh, why don't you say you want to bring back lynching, this, that, blah, blah. It's like, there's no point arguing. We have a very uneducated America today with people.
Well, like everybody's on this racism topic. Like, fuck, man, I know a lot about racism, So when I look out at society, that's all I see is fucking racism. But I don't see the racism that people are saying, like, we're not, it's not a bunch of white guys out walking through the hood fucking dropping hard R's. No, it's DEI hires. It's especially the fucking Democrat side, but both sides of the government saying, we have to have these programs inside because you as black people are too fucking stupid to get the job unless we have these programs. That is systematic racism. That is them literally telling you you're just worthless. And if we don't do these programs, you'll never have a job.
DEI is extremely racist because you're without the white man's help, you'd never get this position.
Right.
That's definitively racist. Yeah,
Yep.
Here was her White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, suggests that hiring pilots of color jeopardizes safety. Somebody had said this is an extremely racist thing that she said. Here's the clip. The title on the video is White House spokeswoman makes bizarre racist comment. Cliff, I would like you, a former skinhead, to acknowledge what the racist comment was.
When you are flying on an airplane with your loved ones, which every one of us in this room has, do you pray that your plane lands safely and gets you to your destination, or do you pray that the pilot has a certain skin color? I think we all know the answer to that question, and as President Trump said yesterday, it's common sense. Rob Krill.
What was the racist comment?
There were zero racist comments. There was a racial implication on the other side, on her part, for the other side saying, well, basically implying how fucking stupid you are if you're just praying for skin color.
Yeah. I said in the comment section of this, cry harder. She said nothing racist. Here's a, let's see. I have more. Tons of people. I bet your kids are special ed kids, to me. Okay. Dominic Izzo pointing that out is racist in itself. Okay. City Adventure 01. Dominic Izzo, hope you and your cop friends catch hot ones. Okay. Ornery Skull. I don't know. Yeah, thank God. Here's a one that backs up. How brainless can you be? It doesn't matter what skin color or gender or sexual orientation the pilot is. Be qualified. How the F are you this dumb-winded? Talking to other people, not me on that one. Here, A. Nicole says, Dominic Izzo, she brought skin color into it. Trump brought skin color into it. The rhetoric that DEI is hiring, or their rhetoric is that DEI makes hiring DEI hiring makes flying unsafe. That's racist. Sorry you couldn't make the connection. Try harder. Hiring DEI does make it more unsafe. You're literally, how is this not, this is how you can't argue with these people. You need to bird box them, right? Open their eyes open or open hand. 5-star, because the more surface area you get with your palm wide, the more nerve damage you get, and slap their brains, rattle them, and recondition them. We'll go, wait a second. So here's Susie, and she's a white female, and Susie is a graduate of, I don't know, whatever, the most premier aviation school on the planet, and she's got 17,000 hours behind practical flying, and she's top of her class. All of this. We're not going to hire her, but we're going to hire Shanae, who comes from the hood, and she's got an awesome backstory to where she's got 4 kids from 3 baby daddy, and her grandmama raised her on her own, and her mom was a drug addict, and she overcame. So we're going to give her a status in the program. And for you to not acknowledge, that doesn't make it safer or less safe. It makes it more safe because Shaniqua, Shataya, whatever her name is going to try harder at this position and land the plane safer. I think I'm right on that one. I don't know.
I think, you know what, here, we've all heard the thing where it's like, nobody gives a shit about your struggle if you didn't do anything afterwards. Well, some people within some power took that a little too far, and they said, well, we've got all these people that have struggled. They have. Like, let's not take it away from them. They have struggled. But nobody gives a shit about them because they're not doing anything with their fucking life now. So let's force them into a position, or let's hand them into place them into a position they're unqualified for, so that they can create the story of people give a fuck. Like it's so disgusting. And I'll be honest with you. I got a friend of mine that I'm dealing with some shit right now, not between me and him, but there is a lot of trans type shit happening in his fucking world right now. And it's fucking tearing apart the family. And it's the same mentality. It's just, whoever the most liberal person in the room sees as the most marginalized person in the room, well, we all have to just put everything away of science, reality, our morals, anything, and just accept it. This is the way it is. That makes everything better.
I'm so tired of this. Oh, we have some stories to talk about today. We're going to solve we're not going to solve any problems. We're going to bitch about them for the most part. But don't forget, here's what we want to do. We want to support small American businesses. So Jenny Aguirre, a IFBB pro and a fantastic human being, just launched.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel.
Yeah.
Finally, the day has come. I cannot possibly tell you how excited I am. I have a table filled with almost everything that is going to be on the website, but if you go to the description, the website where you can purchase my apparel, my new clothing line is out now. The name of the clothing line is Sick and Twisted Fit. This is a more covered sports bra. It goes a little bit lower, and the back is super cute. I paid a little extra so that I had a very good quality material. So comfortable. I've tried on all the apparel. I posted the quality of the shirts. Again, I'm paying extra to have good quality. So I hope you guys like this and are just as excited. Please support my brand. Go to the link in the description. Purchase some cool gear. Read the disclaimer about when shipping is going out and all that other stuff.
Listen, I love people who are branding themselves in a market, and especially good damn people of quality. Jenny Aguirre, I always mispronounce that last name, Aguirre. There's no L in there. JENNAGUIRRE 7877 on Instagram. When you go there to her page and you click on her link tree, it's going to send you to Sick and Twisted Apparel, fitness apparel, and then you can order. She's got a breakdown of how the orders are going to be taken. They're going to be delivered, all this stuff. Just go check it out and support local. Again, the easiest way to wind up doing this is going to Instagram, JENNAGUIRRE 7877. Support local, and let's keep people going in this fantastic economy on the power of our ability to market each other. Cliff, would you tell everybody about that awesome podcast you have going on?
Hey, it's called the Savagely Loud Podcast. We just brought it back. I did it a couple of years ago, but I was by myself. Now I got a co-host, and we're talking about all the shit we're not supposed to talk about, but we kind of do it in a way that where we pull some lessons from it, we circle it back around at the end, and we figure out how we can unfuck our lives by looking out across society and see how they're fucking it up for us. But we talk about everything. We touch on all the touchiest shit. I mean, I've got a history behind me as well as, my co-hosts and our guests. So we get into the fucking weeds, and it's a fun time.
Savagely Loud Podcast. You drop new episodes on Wednesdays, correct?
Wednesdays, every Wednesday morning.
And they can find that Spotify.
Spotify, Amazon Music. I think we're listed just about everywhere except Apple Podcasts right now, because we're basically, they've kind of told us that we're in a situation where we get really sticky, but they don't know if we get sticky enough to not want to host it. So we're waiting. That's
a good. You want that. It's like, shit, maybe I should listen to it a little bit more. Everyone can find Cliff over Savagely Loud on Instagram as well, too. Are you planning on hosting a Super Bowl party?
What's a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I know. I don't fucking thank God.
Does that have something to do with sporting balls?
Putting money in other people's pockets. You'll never even know who you are. America's favorite beer, avocados, gas, and cheap stuff from Temu will get more expensive as Economists warns of Trump's tariffs impact. You might not be able to have a Super Bowl party is what they're saying. Avocados from Mexico, cherry tomatoes from Canada, cheap clothes from China, Shein and Temu, gas line at the pump, and even America's favorite beer. Economists and market analysts are warning that Americans could brace for a higher prices on a raft of everyday goods after President Trump announced a 25% tariff on goods from Mexico and Canada, 10% up imports from China. And these are just things that are likely to go up quickly. Manufacturers have been stocking up on parts and supplies for months in an effort to blunt the impact of Trump's tariffs, but it's harder to stockpile food and the latest electronics, meaning consumers are likely to see the results soon. Trump acknowledged that consumers could feel the wrath or the pain of tariffs. I put wrath, that's Freudian slip. Maybe, but said it will also be worth it to stop the flow of illegal drugs and migrants into the U.S. and boost American domestic production. So basically, like if you want avocados and beer for your Super Bowl party and dip, you're probably not going to be able to get it. But you posted something today on Mexico pausing or the tariffs being paused.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a follow up. Do you have anything you could add to that?
Yeah, Mexico fucking capitulated. They're like, wait a minute. Okay, so you're going to crush our economy just like we're going to do to Canada for all my Canadian friends that have their head in their ass. The Mexican president, she came out. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I won't get into her as a person, but she came out and she said basically like, let's work together. We're going to stop the tariffs. If you stop the tariffs and then we'll figure out we're going to deploy 10,000 more soldiers on our side to the border to try to help you secure your end. Yeah. Mexico's fucking now working with us because they understand what the American people that are all bitching about this don't understand. They don't understand that we are a self-sufficient country, or we can be a self-sufficient country. Clinton and fucking the several presidents, succeeding him, got rid of all our manufacturing, got rid of everything so that America bought everything from overseas so that they could deteriorate it from inside. What Trump's actually doing is he's just bringing America back to the way it was. We're self-sufficient. Now, I've been in arguments with a lot of fucking people about the Mexican immigration thing, as well as the Canadian tariff thing. And the Canadian tariff thing is really interesting because they don't, the Canadians that I'm arguing with, they don't seem to understand that your economy in Canada is already crippled. You have a unemployment rate of over 600,000 already, and they're expecting the tariffs that we placed on you to literally double or triple that. So your unemployment rate in Canada is going to skyrocket while your gross revenue just plummets through the fucking ground. And they're all falling back on it's American wants syrup and we want all this shit for cheap. But the reality is you guys in Canada and your government, which is one of the worst run governments on the face of the earth, is letting terrorists into our country on purpose. You're working with the Chinese government and then filing them in. So fuck you. Here's the fucking truth of what's going to happen. Shit's going to get a little bit rough in America. It really is. It's going to get rough in America for a minute, but then it's all going to swing right back around like it did in his first term. And we all going to have more money in our checks. We're going to have more, but we're going to have better relations with all the other countries but it's going to happen fast, and it has to happen fast because I know I'm spidering off, but
you should. That's fine.
This is the way I see what Trump's doing. Okay. Trump doesn't have 4 years to get this done. He just doesn't. It's not 4 years. He's got to get everything he wants done as fast as he possibly can. Not because they're going to kill him, which they fucking will. They've already tried twice. They're going to get him again. So the reason he's got to make this all happen fast is because, love him or hate him, there is something about him that is patriotic and does want to restore the America that helped him build his businesses. If nothing else, if that's what it is, then that's what it is. He wants to restore America so, rich can get rich and whatever. But he has to do it fast because the only way to do it is if he takes 4 years to make all these changes, it'll be super comfortable for the American people. We won't notice the price jump in avocados because, we're going to get cheaper eggs, or we won't notice this because of that. It's all got to happen immediately because he has to have the American people live under this new ideology, this new American system for a year or two at least, so that when the next administration comes in, assuming it's not Vance or whoever is, in this administration currently, When they come in, they try to change it all right back. The American people will go, no, motherfucker. We've been living under this fucking for 2 fucking years, and our lives have been fucking amazing. We haven't been fighting with anybody. We haven't been broke. We haven't been poor. I haven't had to wrestle to feed my family. We're not going back to that. And the only way we will actually band together as a people, instead of a group of culminated races, is that if he shows us that life can be amazing under his administration, under these new ideologies and these new policies. So he has to get them all done fast so that we have time to adapt to them and become accustomed to them and then not want them to leave.
I almost disagree with you because we see how stupid people are. You can give them everything they want and they'll still complain. Yeah, I mean, look at the people. You everything you just talked about just makes sense. People don't want common sense. They don't want. You're going to create an awesome life that you could say, 3.5 or 3 years and 11 months from now, go, we had it great under Trump, just the same way we did as 2016. No wars, your food was good, your gas was good, all this. And then you had 4 years of Biden, shit went to shit. And now you had another 4 years of Trump and stuff went good. Now you're under Democrat again. See how bad it is? Well, no, you guys don't get it. We need trans, black, interdimensional, alien people out in the fields to process the new organic stuff. It's like, how stupid are you? I truly think that there's only one means of communicating how good things are, and that's to take a pipe, beat someone, and say, do you want me to continue or should I stop? Which feels better to you? And
yes.
That's the only way we're left. I mean, literally, I don't feel bad, man. Like on a parallel level, watching these people who are advocating the illegals, like, hey, yell La Migra when they come so that they could scare you off. I'm like, yes, hide them in your basement so you will learn firsthand how they rape your teenager in the middle of the night, they rob you, they shoot you, and then you don't even know who they are because they all look alike and you can't identify them later on, and they all have the same fucking name that isn't even real. Please just do that, because I can't wait to hear the bemoaning crying of the victims of people who I just don't understand. I brought him in my house. I showed him love. And yes, they'll steal your dog. They'll eat your food. They'll fucking rape your children, and you just don't get it. We need to bring racism back to a degree to save people. I'm not kidding, to save people, because if you're not going to be those who will, you don't think the stove is hot? You know what? Let me take your hand and burn you until your hand melts off, so the rest of you can go, ooh, yeah, no, I don't think I want to touch it. I will be the asshole. I just will.
That's how I feel. I'm getting to a point where I've for years, I've done nothing but fucking, since 2013 specifically, I've done nothing but charity work, nothing but personal development work, nothing but coaching and mentoring, and nothing but helping. I can't get no fucking traction. But I fucking say one fucking word about fuck this whole immigration system, we need to revamp it, and the entire fucking internet is lighting me up. I'm fucking raining followers, and like, people don't want the good. No. People want to be fought. They want to be fighting. They want to be in adverse, because it's tribalism. As much as people don't want to understand, this world that we live in now is forced unity, and it's forced because we know it doesn't fucking work. We are humans. We are tribalists. That means we belong in our own tribes. That means if I'm part of my friend circle and nobody that I don't like comes into that friend circle, nothing happens that's bad. If we don't go over there into their friend circle, nothing bad happens. But what the government keeps doing is they keep taking these opposing friend circles and shoving them together so that they can make sure shit happens, so that while that's happening, they can fucking crumble the infrastructure of the freaking future of this country from within it. It's so easy to pick out.
I think we're all screwed, dude. And I don't get how people don't understand. Yeah, you're talking about doing positive shit. No, nothing positive ever grew on social media.
No, nothing.
It doesn't.
Nothing.
The more like this show, the Rants of Izzo was incepted like in 2017 when I would do I was doing back then more positive shit, and then one day just grab a cigar, I'm in the car and I'm doing a Facebook Live and I'm ranting about the harumph thing in the comment section.
Yeah.
People love to be miserable. They love it.
Yeah.
And they don't get out. Like I thrive. I've said this many times. I thrive on negative reinforcement. If you're going to challenge me to lose weight and say, oh, I believe in you. I believe you could do it. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be like, what's wrong with you, dude? But if you're like, hey, you fat shit, dude, you're a loser. You're not going to do anything. I'm like, oh, now we're going. Negative reinforcement always works for me. I wonder if there's a psychological brain switch. Like I sat there. I remember this years ago. About 10 years ago, I did content on, I didn't think it was right when, as law enforcement, we called people shitheads, right? I'm like, that's, blah, 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 blah. But now I'm like, no, maybe somebody out there needs to hear you're a shithead so that somebody's like, I don't want to be a shithead anymore. I don't want people to call me this. So it's like that. No, you're a piece of shit. You're a shithead. You're a failure. You suck in life. You're never going to improve anything. Oh, now I'm gonna go into fight mode and prove you wrong. I just don't think people respond at all to anything positive at all. They just don't.
Well, the algorithm doesn't like positivity either. When I look at my videos, I put videos out, and when I do my personal development videos, they get 150 something likes, or 150 views, 200 views. Sometimes I can get into the 300s. But dude, I put a rant out like that one I did about fucking Andy that actually connected you and me. Fucking 2,700 views, like put it right in front of everybody. Like that's the algorithm, and people are not understanding. We're all being played. It has nothing to do with black and white and fucking Canadian and Mexican. We're all being played by all of the world's governments. And those that play into it are the ones that are bitching on the internet at people that are trying to stand up for what's right and what's wrong, and trying to fix the shit. When people put some positive shit up there, of course, they're not going to feed it to anybody because that might get people better. And you know what? Like Andy says, personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. It just fucking is.
All these people. I'm trying to find, I don't know if you saw over the weekend, it made me very, very happy. Oh, here it is. Is this? Yeah. I don't know if you saw this. For those of us who did see it, we need to play it again. The Selena Gomez video of her crying because of the deportations. Is this so worth it?
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
It doesn't matter. And I want, I laughed so fucking hard. I want to get your theory on this. It doesn't matter. You could show, like, let's take Selena Gomez for an example, and there's got to be millions of people like her out there who believe one thing. Now, you and I were alive. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put this photo up for people. I'm going to put a very famous photo up and see if Cliff has a reaction to this picture and can describe this for the rest of the class. Cliff, can you kind of explain what this very famous image is?
Yeah. I remember this.
Yeah. Yep.
This is when they dressed up those douchebags and had them point fucking guns at kids so that they could push their gun immigration by.
Mm-hmm. Under whose administration was that? Yeah.
I can't. Oh my God, you're fucking putting me way back. Holy
This was Elon Gonzalez. This was under here he is, 2014. This was under Clinton.
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember? We didn't have video back then. We just had this unbelievably well lit photograph. Like what blew me away because I bought this. Oh shit! When I was a kid, this was all. Well, no. When was this? It wasn't 2000. Was this? No, hang on. Let me put this in. Well, I got to do this. When was it good? Elian Gonzalez, born 1993. Okay, maybe it was 2000. So yeah, I would have been 25. But this was all over the media and just this photo. So
I was in Warren in 2000 and well, I was associated with Warren people. I dropped out at that point, but yeah, that shit was everywhere.
Dude, it was all over the place, and it made it sound like fucking the U.S. military law enforcement is ripping. Look at his little screaming face here. Like, I always wondered, is this staged? Because the photo...
Of course it's staged.
The lighting was... No one and their fucking mother in law enforcement is going to have a rifle pointed at a guy. And he can't fit in the closet. I have found people hiding in the closet. This is not a closet hide. It's not. It doesn't go back that deep. So to have this, I'm like, this is fucking staged. But you could put this in front of people and say, hey, just to let you know, this was Bill Clinton, and he was a Democrat. Bill Clinton had that done, and the world was outraged. And then you had Obama, all this. I want to take this somewhere that I'm thinking is, I think that they have like done a trifecta. I think that it's the food that we eat, poisoning ourselves, and then when you chemically combine that with whatever frequencies are coming through the phone that we're on nonstop, and then the media that is, I think it is 100% A Clockwork Orange. The scene where he's got his eyes bugged out open and they're just flashing the images to get the ultra violence. I'm telling you, I think that's what's making people like Selena Gomez completely irrational, to where if you said, no, Haitian migrants are here, they 100% are stealing your cats because in their country it's voodoo, and there's video all over the place on Insta or on Twitter at the time of like men picking up kittens and biting their throats out and drinking their blood. I mean, I watched it. I was like, oh, that's good. Fuck up. And they're doing it here. No, they're not. It's like, we need you to understand that it's cultural. It's just how it is. No, I think that we've programmed people successfully to having creamed corn for brains instead of,
Well, it's not a trifecta. I don't know what the word is for four, but you forgot one of the legs in my idea.
Okay.
It's the educational system. So they're poisonous through our food. Everything in our food, if you do the research, and it only takes 20 minutes on Google even, and it just causes inflammation. It causes brain fog. It causes heart problems. It causes cardiovascular problems. It causes all these other fucking problems. Pair that with the educational system that is modeled after the Prussian educational system that they implemented so that they could have a 100% dedicated, indoctrinated military. That's the reason our school system exists the way it is. It's from Prussia. And they designed this school system exactly the way Americans use it, so that they could indoctrinate kids into being elite soldiers. That's fucking it. So now you've got the educational system indoctrinating their minds with bullshit. You've got their food just poisoning their body with all this other shit. And then you've got the media inundating them with bullshit and false facts and misinformation and all this other shit. And yeah, it's every direction that we turn, especially in America, we're being bombarded by silent fucking enemies, our food, and some of them obviously aren't silent, but a lot of them are. It's just the food, the narratives, the overall vibe in society, we have
retards all over the place is what we have. Here's, I don't know what I'm a community college dropout. I went to Harper College. I remember this story specifically. I graduated Barrington High School in 1993 by the skin of my teeth. I got a 16 on my ACT. I had a 1.4 GPA at the beginning of the year, my senior year. And thanks to gym class and horticulture, I got it up to a 3.6. So that was good. Graduated math. Oh my God, I got a D in math to graduate. And then when I went to Harper, my first year, I had to take math 060, like the basic again. And I had the highest grade in the class. I had 103% with extra credit and shit like this. And it was the teacher. She was the greatest teacher I've ever fucking had. She gave a shit. She cared. She was engaging. I learned. I'm like, wow, this proves the teaching is everything. And then I discovered, oh wait, you can kind of show up late to class. You can miss a class in college. When I went to Math 101 with this dry ass fucking old woman who just didn't give a shit about anything, I started to lose interest. And I'm like, man, this is like high school over again. I'm going to pick up some more hours at work. And I just went to work. Never went back to class. So I went probably one semester in college and I dropped out. That was it. I am not qualified to do a lot of things in life. Brain surgery, taxes, I pick something, right? But apparently, if it comes down to running a committee, anyone can do that, including David Hogg. Did you remember who David Hogg is?
Oh, God. I saw this. Oh, God.
David Hogg, a survivor of one of the deadliest shootings in America's history, has become a progressive activist. He was Sandy Hook. He's Parkland, the Parkland shooting, and he wasn't he wasn't even in class that day. And there's proof. David Hogg was at another incident like a year before that. Yeah, he's 100% groomed, just like AOC, for these positions. He's the first member of Generation Z to be elected as the chair of the Democratic National Committee. The DNC elected Hogg as its vice chair this weekend, calling the 24-year-old one of the most compelling voices of his generation. Hogg, survivor of the 2018 massacre at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, co-founded the gun control organization March of Our Lives. He has risen in the progressive spotlight and actively changed Democrat leadership on what is secret. This is a point where I'm going. David Hogg has never debated anyone.
And he'd get slaughtered if he did.
100%. He is a face. I think he's got fetal alcohol syndrome because you look at that waterhead, the no jawline. So he tweets and he gives speeches. I 100% believe that he is that Operation Mockingbird or wherever it is, where they took a kid who's an asset, trained him, funneled funds of the family somehow that they never would say it, and say, we're going to make you the figurehead of everything we want to go, just like AOC. He is now the number 2 of the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, the number fucking 2.
And he's a kid. Yeah. He's a fucking child.
Yes.
So this is why this exists. It's because the Democrats are still on their losing playbook. So one of the big things we all say, we need to get a little bit younger leadership in here. We got to get rid of these fucking 90-year-olds that have made their fucking millions, blah, 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 blah. So they've been doing same thing they did with Ilhan Omar and fucking AOC and Greta Thunberg. Anybody that has youth, they push out into the fucking spotlight, and they proved that they don't even require these people to have a brain, like they fucking proved with AOC. They shoved her right out in the fucking spotlight to begin with, and she fucking drowned. She drowned. Every time she was questioned, she ran away and fucking played her little grammar circle games like a used car salesman. All they're doing is preying on the fact that their base, their constituents and their fucking voters are as dumb as they come. They vote based on, you look like me. You sound like me. You're telling me what I want to hear, even though it's not feasible. Oh, I still vote for you. It's the Democrat Party. So now they're just going younger and younger. The fucking Greta Thunberg will be the next fucking chair.
I think AOC is going to be a presidential candidate. I can see how old she is. Hang on. She's going to be, 35? AOC age. She's 35.
Yeah, get your fucking cans out of it.
35. Dude, I think she's going to be the Democratic. It's not going to be Newsom. I think she's going to be the next nominee for 2028.
Newsom can't be it. They were going to put him up there. They were going to. And then he just started catching everybody's cameras in all the wrong fucking situations. And now that he let California burn, and then Trump went in there and fucking just turned on the water. He's like, why didn't you turn on the water? Well, yeah, it's because you fucked your people and you tried to burn and you actually actively tried to burn their property.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. Trump went in there and they walked in there and they fucking turned the water on, and then all the fucking hydrants had water, and they put the fucking fires out.
You notice how nobody's talking about it for the last week?
Of course not, because it's not hitting the news. They hit the news for about 10 seconds and then they killed the story because that makes Newsom look bad. That makes all of the government fucking in California look bad. That makes fucking every single fucking trans female fucking everything that had something to do with this look bad. They can't have that.
Wow. Because I thought, we was talking about with my dad last night. We're like, man, they're not talking about the fires anymore.
Yeah. No, it's because they're going out because Trump turned water on.
I'm saying AOC is she's going to run for president next term. And that's what you have a bunch of, they're actors. And you know what? Good for them. Good for the powers that be, that is. Because they're putting these children in these positions to just stir your emotions.
Well, yeah, it's like AOC. Here's one of the biggest misconceptions about AOC is she came out and she was, their poster child for she's a normal woman. She's a bartender. She's nothing. She owned the fucking bar.
What?
She owned it. Yeah, that's what I read. I read that years ago. Geez. She wasn't a bartender. She owned the fucking bar. That's why she could go right out and buy a $110,000 Tesla.
Oh, jeez. Well, she's going to be your president one day, too.
Yeah, and then she shows up at the Met Gala with her Eat the Rich dress.
Oh, my gosh.
You know the rich is where you get your money from, right, bitch?
Well, if she was a bar owner, then she absolutely knows everything about, especially in New York. Hogue says part of the issue that we're surrounding ourselves with is people who tell us what we want to hear instead of telling us what we need to hear, Hogue said. I get that it's uncomfortable to be told what you don't want to hear, but we need to build a culture that as a party. I have a problem when salespeople do this and politicians do it. It's not where you're going. It's the car that you drive around the obstacle and how it handles because you know how to drive. Yeah. What did you say? Hogue has criticized some of the biggest decisions made in the Democratic Party, including former Vice President Harris's decisions not to appear on Joe Rogan's popular right-leaning podcast. Hogue called the decision as a part of a broader problem during his interview with the media. I don't think her going on Joe Rogan necessarily would have decided the election by any means, but I think it speaks to a broader problem within the Democrat Party that we're choosing to live in a comfortable delusion a lot of the time where the country actually is rather than an uncomfortable reality of where it is. Get on a debate, dude. Why don't you go on Joe Rogan? I would love to see David Hogue go on Joe Rogan.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been noticing this. I love Joe Rogan. And dude, I mean, like, I fucking love the guy. He's a great human being. Like, I'm not fangirling, but I have noticed So Rogan had this eloquent way of being a bullshit detector. And I've been noticing him. He goes a little bit softer on people that he likes, like Elon. He never pushes Elon. There's a lot of shit that we should be pushing Elon about, but you're using the biggest fucking platform on earth to just have a conversation with your buddy. But then when somebody comes on that you're not buddies with, you want to push on that one. I don't know. I'm kind of losing it for Rogan. I love Rogan as a human being, but he's not, and I get where he's coming from, but he's not doing what he does sometimes, and then sometimes he lets shit slide. And that's where people are starting to go to the Sean Ryan thing, which, I mean, obviously the dude's forever a CIA asset, but as long as he's connected and he pushes on people, I guess, what do you do, you know?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Sean Ryan. I didn't like when he had Sheriff Mark Lamb on, who blew me off for 2 podcast interviews, talking and just celebrating the side of law enforcement to punish people. I just don't like that kind of crap. Yeah, Rogan, I don't like Rogan. apologized for, I guess some clip was put together about him saying the N-word or something.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. I saw the apology, too.
Dude, and even I was blown away by this one. Bryce Mitchell apologized over the weekend, which, for those who don't know, Bryce Mitchell put out on a podcast. He's an MMA fighter. He's Thug Nasty. Let me pull this up really quick here. He's a brother-in-law of Scott Sieverts from the Burn Pit podcast.
Is he really?
Yeah. He made he made a comment. Oh, yeah. Bryce, I mean, I didn't have anything that he, is this part of the, no, I don't know if he has it up on his page again. I'll pull this up. This is what Bryce had said over the weekend on a podcast. And I don't know if you heard this.
Yeah.
I don't like Dana White's response to it. We played this last weekend and fucking like it. All right, Bryce Mitchell. Boom. Yeah, some media, because everybody and their mother was milking it like crazy. Again, you are not allowed to say anything that
Hitler.
You're not allowed to say anything that ever is an opinion against Jews or blacks in this country. But this is Bryce Mitchell. This is a 54-second clip that he said.
Hitler, hell and the Nazis. I really don't think that he was, because I honestly think that Hitler was a good guy based upon my own research, not my public education indoctrination. I really do think before Hitler got on meth, he was a guy to go fishing with. He fought for his country. He wanted to purify it by kicking the greedy Jews out that were destroying his country and turning them all into gays. They were gaying out the kids. They were queering out the women. They were queering out the dudes. They were, you know what her first tranny surgery ever was? Happened to be in Germany before Hitler took over. You know the books that everybody makes fun of Hitler burning? You know what the books was? Queer books. Hitler burned queer books because Hitler didn't want a bunch of queers destroying his nation. They can't produce children.
But what about...
So what was the lie he said?
Well, the problem is that we don't know if it's a lie or not, because it's not technically a lie, because he genuinely believes it. The issue is we don't know if Hitler was a great guy. Like, we don't know if he was a fishing guy. I've done plenty of fucking research in my history because I was a recruiter, so I know some things about him. And you know, it's I think it's kind of in between. You know, every air of greatness has an air of crazy to it. So. I can't say that there was a lie. I can't say that it was a falsehood either. So it's just his opinion, and he should be able to fucking say that without, you know.
That's this generation's problem, is they can't take harshness. If you look at Hitler on paper, and what pissed him people off was the greedy Jews. Well, that's what they're called, Jews, right? And he just labeled those who were greedy. He didn't say all Jews. So what are we supposed to call them at this point? Because if you label them Jews and celebrate them, you could use the word Jew and be, oh, that's fine. But if you say, hey, these are some Jews who are doing, oh, you're anti-Semitic. Shut the fuck up. I'm so tired of it. But if you look at what Hitler did to Germany, the turnaround of the unemployment rate, he was a extreme nationalist. He had pride in his country. He fought in World War I. The research I've done and I read and heard was that he was actually a very extremely patriotic soldier for his country. So the only analogy I give is, wait a second. So Hitler, in order to take a nation from like 3% or like down from 3% employment rate to 100% employment rate, you have to be a whip cracking bastard. And the most successful businesses that I've ever worked for had owners who were in just unpleasant cocksuckers who they knew what to do. And my God, did my bank account prosper because they were hard. The rest of it, it's like the greedy Jews and they're ganging it all up. They just made fun of how he said it.
That's what it takes, though. That's what people don't understand. Okay, so let me put this in perspective. Most mothers, most fathers of 2 or more children, they spend some time every single week, if not daily, having me time, getting away from the kids because they can't handle the chaos. And these are the people that they can't handle the chaos caused by two kids that they're obviously not parenting correctly. They can't handle that, but they've got all of the right and reason and rhyme to say how somebody should be governing a country with 330 million of those snot-nosed little fucking kids. Like you can't think on that level. It's, when you're looking at a country, you have to be able to be the bad dad. You have to be able to say, well, this is going to piss off a lot of fucking people, but it's going to benefit more of them than it's going to piss them off in the long run. So we have to do this. Sorry about your luck. And then to touch on Selena Gomez, how is she any different than Hitler? Hitler was only worried about his people, right? Well, when she was crying about the people being deported, there was a Mexican flag on her fucking thing, and she was only crying about Mexican people. What about all the Hondurans? What about all the Guatemalans? What about all the Venezuelans? What about all the Poles? What about all the Canadians? What about all the Germans? What about all the English and the Scottish and the Irish that are all getting kicked out too? Nope, we only give a fuck about Mexicans because fucking Selena Gomez is no better than Hitler. I'm only focused on these people, my people, and I don't give a fuck about anybody else. But it's okay because she's Mexican and a billionaire. That lamp behind her probably cost 20 grand.
Oh, we know nothing about that because we're white and we don't get that. This was Dana White's response to...
So before we get started here, let me get some fucking dumb shit out of the way first here.
I have a problem with Dana White arbitrarily jumping on Bryce level of being dumb and stupid. He could have kept it but free speech on both sides is free speech. This is his opinion, and it is what it is.
I'm out here, have fun doing Power Slap tonight, and I'm sure you guys heard what Bryce Mitchell said. If you haven't, he said some I've heard a lot of dumb, ignorant shit in my day, but this one's probably the worst. When you talk about Hitler, he was responsible for the death of 6 million Jews, and he tried to completely eliminate a race of people. World War II was the deadliest war in history. 15 million military deaths, 45 million civilians, and 25 million soldiers were killed in World War II. Second of all, Hitler is one of the most disgusting and evil human beings to ever walk the face of the earth. And anyone that even...
This is my point. I've always said this because it never made sense to me. If he was so disgusting and he was so evil, how did so many people follow him? You would have thought that there would be some Germans that would go, this guy's fucking crazy. He wants to exterminate the Jews? What did they ever do? So I've always been blown away by that. It's like, this guy's off his rocker.
I'm going to put this whole thing into the basket with Andy's apology because if we're going to provide grace for Andy because he's our buddy, well, your buddy, not mine necessarily, but if we're going to provide grace there, we got to provide grace on this level because this could kill the UFC. If he was to go out here and say, hey, you know what? I'm not even going to address it. He's allowed to say what he wants. That the hens would start clucking, and then the UFC goes down, and a lot of people lose their paychecks. He did push a little too hard, but also here's the other thing. He's our generation. He grew up indoctrinated the same way we did. Every single world leader that isn't an American leader is a piece of shit to Americans. That's what we're taught. I mean, it's the same thing with Putin. Why is it? Okay, so if Putin is this absolutely sinister, devilish human being, monster, why is every single Russian I know absolutely 100% of Russia and Putin? Why is every single fucking Russian I know standing up against everything that everybody's saying about Russia?
Yep.
Why is it that, if he's this hate-mongering thing, why is half of Ukraine saying, we're Russian? We never wanted to be annexed anyway. We want to go back. And Zelensky's over here fucking, just having his little Nazi party run all the shit. And nobody's saying, every world leader is a piece of shit to the American government. That's what we're taught. But in reality, Putin's already outlawed non-fucking organic food in many levels of his country. He's outlawed lab-grown meat. He's outlawed all this shit that makes the Russian people stronger and stronger and stronger. China, same shit. Outlawed all the shit that makes Chinese people weak. But they're all pieces of shit. in every way. There can be no good. I look at everybody as like, Putin's got some good aspects. I like a lot of what he does. I don't like a lot of what he does. Xi Jinping, same shit. I like a lot of what you do. I don't like a lot of what you do. American government, same shit.
It blows me away. Why do we never allow? Why was it RT News? Like they were cut the second that Russian war happened. It's like, wait a second. Wouldn't you want Americans to make up their own mind? And if Putin was this insane, let him talk. Let him dig his own hole. It blew me away. The first time I've ever heard Hitler's speech translated in English was just a few months ago. And I'm like, how did I go my entire life without hearing it translated into English so that you would think this guy's so insane? We want all of you to hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't insane.
It was just any American political speech.
He was more patriotic for his country than I would say 90% of American politicians. I'm going to play more of what White said.
Even tries to take an opposing position is a moron. That's the problem with the internet and social media. You provide a platform for a lot of dumb, ignorant people. We've obviously reached out to Bryce, and when we read what he said and let him know how we feel about it, I don't even, we're beyond disgusted. So for those of you that don't know what's going on, good, you're lucky. For those of you that do, that's what I have to say about it. Who's got the first question?
Hey, Dana.
Hey.
It's obviously not a fun topic to talk about the Bryce stuff. I think that's a great statement that you just gave. Does Bryce Mitchell face a punishment from the UFC for saying what he said?
That's what everybody wants to hear about punishments. Free speech. I don't have to love it. You don't have to love it.
I agree with that, the free speech sentiment. Is there a concern, though, right, if he goes out and wins a fight and gets a mic?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about this business. For all of you that hate Bryce Mitchell, you get to see him hopefully get his ass whooped on global television. I mean, what do you want me to say about it? You know where I am with free speech. We're disgusted by it. I think he's probably one of the dumbest, literally one of the dumbest human beings. Let's not forget that this is a guy who took a drill through his nutsack, then had to reverse it and put the drill back out of his. That's the level of stupid that we're talking about here. And I could probably go on for 10 minutes talking about how dumb Bryce Mitchell is. But guess what? Bryce Mitchell has a podcast.
I believe this was episode 1.
What a way to start. But that's the world.
Yeah, they just gave him the best marketing in the world for the podcast. When you think about it,
right? Yeah,
that's gold.
What's with the nuts? He drilled a hole in his nutsack?
I don't know. I'm not going to try that, but
if he drilled a hole in his nutsack, we automatically don't listen to him. That's just the way the world works.
All right.
I mean, right?
I don't know. I'm watching 2023 footage of Dana White apparently slapping his girlfriend around in a nightclub. Oh, she took a couple shots. Wow, cool. What are you gonna do? I don't like the instant opposition when you answer a question. That's where my stance has been for the last probably 6 or 8 months, and it is what it is. We're not allowed to ask questions at all about this topic, and it gets pretty damn old.
Yeah, because it shakes stupid people's reality, and people just don't get it. If you embrace reality, as harsh as it is, you could fix it. But until you embrace it, you're just going to keep running from it. You're just going to keep your head in the sand.
Right. I know you hang on. Sorry. We have to watch, dude, because you could be our entertainment correspondent. You were glued to the TV last night for the Grammys, weren't you?
Oh, God. What's a Grammys?
I am so the Academy Awards, I think, is in March, and it was one of my first jobs was Blockbuster Video, and I loved that job, and I can't watch it anymore. I can't watch it. It was that was probably my single favorite thing to wait for every year was in March, the Academy Awards. You get Billy Crystal comes out and he does his opening montage song, and then it's like, oh yeah, and then as the years go by, it's fucking just political like crazy. Yeah. I don't know if you saw any of the what do you call it, the Grammys last night, but apparently, what the hell's her name?
Alicia Keys, I saw, said there was a gift or some shit.
Oh, I got to hear that. Let me hear that. Alicia Keys.
She said DEI is a gift, not a burden or some shit.
Yeah, I want to hear that. Okay, so here's her speech from the Academy Awards. Yeah, she gets the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. Dr. Dre is still alive, right?
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to have an award named after you when you're like, you've gained critical mass in the elevation of shit in life, and then like, is he someone important in the? Is he really?
I will give him that. He is at the top of the rap game. Like he's one of the tops. He created Eminem. Like okay. I'll give him that one.
Let's see. I do even know who he is, Dr. Dre.
Yeah, he started.
I liked him in. Training
the Chronic
Day.
And all that. Yeah.
Training Day. I liked him. I think he's a good actor. I liked him. Okay, all right. Let's hear what Alicia Keys has to say about receiving an award for the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. I would personally rather see the Quincy Jones Global Impact Award, because that man, I think, was probably one of the biggest. He died, didn't he? He made one of the biggest impacts in music. He created fucking Michael Jackson, for the love of God. All right, let's keep going.
Stand up, stand up. It is my honor to present the 2025 Dr. Dre Global Impact Award to the one, the only, Alicia Keys.
Awards, man. It's just a bunch of people blowing each other for, hey, come to the party. You're going to get an award here. For what?
Just giving your buddy a trophy. It's all it is.
Fucking. Can a white person win this award?
No.
Okay. Hi, Alicia Keys, who when she does wear makeup, she's hot. But
yeah.
I think she's stopped. Oh, she's wearing makeup again. She went on this big campaign for she's never wearing makeup again.
Yeah.
All right.
Give it up for the queen, the ultimate trailblazer. This is such a beautiful, beautiful night. I'm so grateful to be here with you tonight. I'm so grateful for this energy in the room tonight, the love, the community. It's a real thing. Tonight is a beautiful, powerful thing that we are cultivating. So I just want to give big love to my brother, Dr. Dre, who created a sound that began a movement. And your sound told me that if you're a creative growing up in Compton or Hell's Kitchen, you can touch the world. I always had to fight for a certain level of respect as a songwriter, a composer, and especially a producer. It's strange that we don't think of women as producers like Quincy or Dre or Swizzy.
So far, her speech isn't bad. I'm like, okay, I respect this. It's good. I want to see when it's going to go off the rails.
But female producers have always powered the industry. Patrice Rushen, Missy Elliott, Linda Perry, Grimes, Solange, and so many more.
Don't know any of them.
We stand
right,
together,
nobody does.
So it's a beautiful feeling to be acknowledged for the thing I always thought people didn't really recognize about me. This is a beautiful thing. I've been blessed to create with some of the most superpower, groundbreaking risk takers like Taria Joseph, mama, Ann Mincielli, Desiree Perez, Jody Gershon. They saw in me what I didn't see in myself, and we started She Is the Music to open the doors for other women who didn't get the opportunities or credit they deserve. So this is for all the ladies that know the magic that they bring to the room.
Okay.
This is not the time to shut down the diversity of voices. We've seen on this stage talented, hardworking.
It's already been off the rails, but she's going to take it further.
Different points of view, and it changes the game. DEI is not a threat, it's a gift.
Gift for what?
Stupid black people.
And the more voices, the more powerful the sound. When destructive forces.
I want to say one name and see if you understand how it affected the world. Now, if we're thinking diversity, equity, and inclusion, and we want to rewind music 60 years. Let's see, I'm going to be 50, so add 10, okay? It's around 55, 60 years ago, okay? We had something called the British invasion, right? If I say to you, Yoko Ono, Cliff, Asian minority female included, can you name anything positive she did aside from ruin one of the greatest fucking bands in the history of the world and piss Chuck Berry off too?
Not a single fucking thing.
Oh my God. Oh my.
Came in and wrecked shop and walked away.
Fucking diversity, equity, inclusion. Oh man.
Well, I just don't. Her speech went off the rails for me as soon as she brought up gender. I mean, I don't know. It's such contradicting stories from every fucking angle. One day we're not supposed to be talking about gender and everybody's supposed to be team human. The next day we're only supposed to be focused on gender. The next day we're only supposed to be focused on race. The next day we're only supposed to be focused on religion. The next day we're only supposed to be focused on race again. The next day we're supposed to be focused on culture, but not race. This is the problem. Nobody, if you want racism to go away, stop talking about it. Start treating everybody the same, hold everybody to a standard, and if you don't make the fucking standard, you don't get the fucking job. That's as easy it is. But now we got the DEI because women are too fucking frail to get jobs, so they need these programs because they can't do it themselves. Black people are just too fucking dumb, and the world's just too fucking racist to give them a job unless, they have these programs. I mean, dude, her whole fucking speech is off the rails. Stop fucking talking about gender. I get it. You want girls to do well, but don't be talking about only girls, how they can do well. Don't talk about only how girls can come into the industry. You know how fucking hard it is for a man to get into that industry too?
Even more now because they're going to be more limited. So it's just, I say turn it over to women so it'll destroy itself.
Name me 5 white male rappers. I bet nobody can do it.
I always loved how Eminem.
You got Eminem and Vanilla Ice. That's what you got.
Eminem he's probably the single greatest rapper in the history of that art form, and he's white. It's just like, okay.
And yeah. Oh God. And I'd still like to whoop his ass in the fucking street too.
Who wouldn't, dude? A Beyonce, black woman, won 2025 Grammy for I think this is album of the year.
Country album of the year.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we need to hear her speech. Because I don't know if anybody saw, she looks whiter than me with her.
Well, they were announcing 6 months ago that she won it. She won Country Album of the Year. And if you go on these posts on every single media site that says Beyonce won Country Album of the Year, there is not a single fucking comment on there going, that's awesome. She deserved it. No, it's what the fuck is going on? It's all bought and paid for.
DEI stole it 100%.
It's going to be a tough one. As selected.
Why are there, who the hell are these two? I got to bring this up. This is ridiculous. There are 2 people in uniform on the screen. Dude, can you see this? Are these Border Patrol agents or something?
What's his name? Mangione?
By the 13,000 voting members.
Oh, I bet you these are fire department officials from LA. Never mind. Let's whore that up more.
Of the Recording Academy. The Grammy goes to.
What's with that voice?
Too much testosterone.
Cowboy Carter. Beyonce.
Dude, look how white she looks. If she's black, why are they whitewashing her?
Yeah.
She's got like the vitiligo going on, the Michael Jackson condition, blonde, long hair. What about cultural appropriation?
Well, that doesn't exist for us. Yeah. Oh God. I mean, dude, everything in this picture is fucking.
I have to wonder when you get to these two status, Jay-Z and Beyonce, and think about whatever you want. Where people are like, they're terrified of Beyonce, so they got to thank her for every award. I don't know what Beyonce has ever done like that has impressed me as an artist. You get the auto-tune shit. I did like that. I think it's the Single Ladies video that she did, but It was a black guy who pointed this out to me. It was actually a gay black guy who's a friend of mine years ago. He goes, dude, it's not original. And he actually showed me that it was, have you ever seen the video that she kind of ripped it off from?
No.
Oh, I'm going to show you in a second. But the whitewashing, I don't give a shit about her speech, but it's like, is there some point where you are so filthy rich, you're like, we need another award and we need to elevate ourselves even more?
Yeah. You're that rich because they bought the awards. They control the whole fucking industry. Those two people right there. Now that Diddy's out of the picture, those two people control it. They own it. They own the fucking music industry, especially when it comes to hip hop.
Yeah, here is what they're accused. And I get that everything is there's nothing new under the sun. Right. But this is, where is this from? This is from Beyonce is accused of stealing her ladies' dance, and they don't say who it's from. Whatever. But I think this is from a Spanish group, if you will, and you can see the similarities. I'm just gonna mute this for a second because we don't want the copyright ding on this. They're the same damn thing.
Yeah.
But we steal everything. I mean, The Office was stolen from The Office, and how many sitcoms are stolen from stuff? It's the same damn thing.
A Theory of a Dead Man, we can bring it into rock music. Theory of a Dead Man, their song, The Bitch Came Back. The Bitch Came Back. That's The Cat Came Back. It's literally the same fucking nursery rhyme. They just changed cat to bitch.
Yeah, it's
really uncreative.
They said that this is a dude over here. They said that years ago. That's a dude. And then
I don't doubt it.
I love it that Spanish white broads are teaching, the other ones how to dance or whatnot. All right, that's that on there. So yeah, Beyonce wins for, I don't know, Grammy of Album of the Year, and she's clearly the front runner for this year's hillbilly stuff. I got nothing, dude.
Fucking wreck.
I got nothing. Hey, we need to do weekend shooting numbers total because we had a pretty interesting weekend in Chicago where the weather was freezing cold and then it was kind of nice and whatnot. So for those who played home, we do the weekend shooting numbers here in Chicago, and my guest, Cliff, co-host, is going to guess to see how many people have been killed and shot in Chicago proper over the weekend. So, Cliff, as you know, this is from January. So we're going to go the final total for January, the month, because we don't have a week update. Oh, we have, I'll tell you right now, over the weekend, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 people were shot in Chicago over the weekend, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them were killed. But for the month, so we had 31 days last month. Out of those 31 days, the first month of the year, 2025, Cliff, can you tell me how many people were killed in the city of Chicago for the month of February 2025?
67.
Close. For those playing at home, we're going to see if on the chat, we do have a chat, by the way, where you guys can take a look over in the description of if you're watching on a video, if you're watching on, or you're listening on a podcast, just scroll down in the description. You're going to see a link for the Rants of Izzo show chat. You can join. It's a Telegram app. We're all on there. We have a little bit of a delay, so I want to see if anybody in the chat is going to guess. I'll give you guys another few seconds. Kate is typing right now. Kate, don't cheat, you British. No. Kate, I'm not even reading your number because you cheated. And that means everybody else in the chat is going to know. But the answer, the answer is actually 42. 42 people were killed in Chicago over the weekend. Now, a lot more people were shot. Cliff, can you tell me how many people were shot? They will consist of people who died, but also survivors. How many people in the month of January were shot total in Chicago?
111.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
The answer, and I'm not going to give you guys time in the chat room over there. The answer is 147. 147. So, if I could do the math, because I dropped out of community college, grab my spectacles here. Let me take a look at that. That means we had 31 days. That's not my calculator. Okay, we had 147 people shot in the city of Chicago for the month. Divide that by 31 days. That is 4.74193,548 people shot a day. 5 people are shot every single day in Chicago. But Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. Yeah. We were just talking about the O Block, actually. I don't know if you know anything about O Block.
No.
But Parkway Gardens,
No.
it's supposedly the most dangerous spot in Chicago. It's also where, coincidentally, they say Michelle Obama was from. Isn't that ironic how the literal most dangerous place in Chicago is the one she's from, but there's no documentation of it. But yeah, we were just talking about that today, and we were watching videos and shit. And dude, I got to tell you, it's systematic. If you look up O Block, look up Parkway Gardens and the way the buildings are situated, our government and our builders work together to make them
Prison
killing
cells.
boxes.
Yeah, they're prison cells. Cabrini Green was the same way. My uncle, who I can't stand, my mother's brother, was a lieutenant at the Cabrini Green Firehouse in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And he used to come over on Thanksgiving and play audio cassette tape of, he just pressed play and you hear gunshots forever right outside of there. And the only time I really ever gained respect for him when I sat there and I said, I'm going to go be a cop. And he goes, okay. I said, I'm going to work for, Round Lake Beach. And he's like, holy shit. They had advertisements in Cabrini Green being torn down saying, move to beautiful Cedar Villas and Round Lake Beach, all that shit. I remember my sister one day, she was a city girl. She's like, yeah, I just got pulled over by Chicago PD asking me what I was doing in Rockwell Gardens. I'm like, what are you doing down there? I got lost. I'm like, yeah, they pulled you over because you're whiting down. You're buying drugs or hoeing it up down there, man. So stupid.
I told my wife I wanted to go to O Block. Like I love going to places like that.
Oh, dude, go. Yes.
But the fucking problem is that we don't have any cars that aren't worth stealing. Like we're going to have to rent a shit box from somebody in the ghetto just to go down there so that we don't get their shit stolen.
Dude, I got so tired when I ran for sheriff of people kind of like saying, this and that, whatever. I went down. I parked my car and I went down to Austin's neighborhood, and where was I at? Well, I also went down to Haddon and Pine, and I put a Facebook post out to challenge Father Michael Flager. Meet me out here. I'm running for sheriff. Meet me out here in the community. You love it that much. Of course he didn't. But people thought I was crazy. It was nice out. I went in August, just a t-shirt with a polo and jeans. And I'm walking around talking to people about their problems, saying, what do you guys, I'm running for sheriff. What do you need for the community? And they're like, dude, you're fucking brave. I'm like, no, I'm just, is what it is. Fucking stupid.
Well, dude, I got one for you. If we got a second here.
Yeah.
I was driving Uber a couple of years ago because I drive Uber like on the side because my personal development content needs I need to talk to people to see who's going on in the world. So I drive Uber to be able to talk to people. And a couple of years ago, I picked up a dude and his black dude, his wife, and his little son, and I picked him up from Illinois Beach State Park and I took him to Chicago. Way south side. And he's like, as we get down there, he's like, all right, dude. And he was a cool guy. He's just flow art on Instagram, but he was a cool guy. He's like, all right, as we gotten closer, he's like, don't follow their rules. He's like, it'll get you trapped. He's like, all right, just follow my lead, and I'm trusting the dude because he's a cool dude. We were talking on the way home. Well, we pull off of the fucking highway, and then immediately he starts explaining to me about the bucket boys. I get there's these people down there, and they sit at all the off ramps and they play the buckets,
and they sound incredible. They play the buckets like drums,
and they'll rob your ass at gunpoint as soon as you see your phone. Yeah, they'll rob your ass at gunpoint as soon as they see the wallet come out. So they're really good at playing drums. But he's like, don't ever give nothing to them. Fuck these guys. So we got through there, and then he's like, all right, now we got to weave around this way. Well, I ended up dropping him off on us. I felt like we went through about 8 different alleys to get to his house. And his house was fucking boarded up. And it was on a road of houses that were fully fucking boarded up. You could only get into the front door, and then people had barricades and shit. Well, he's like, when you leave here, it's important that you don't go straight. He's like, you need to turn right here because there are people here that as soon as they see you being a white boy, and I had I was dressed. I like to dress nicely when I'm driving people around. I don't want to look like a scumbag. But he's like, they'll get you. They'll trap you. And so I always just say, they'll trap you. Dude, I missed that turn. He's like, when I left his house, and I was just in a 2018 Dodge Journey. It was nothing special. I missed that fucking turn. Next thing you know, I'm staring at one house on my left that is got about 40 people on the fucking porch.
Yep.
Red and white, and AKs, literally, I know guns. I love guns. AKs lined up all the fucking way across the fucking front porch. And they started heading my way as I stopped at a fucking stoplight, and I got the fuck up out of there. This is the fucking problem. We have to break through the minds of people like that, but you just can't.
No.
So you try hard enough, you try long enough, and then you give up, and then you're the fucking bad guy. Why the fuck was I going to get why was I going to get all my shit stolen just for dropping somebody off and his kids? Yeah,
no, sadly,
shit ass people.
Sadly, it's like, no, I'm not going to drive down there again for the risk.
Yeah.
It's just not, people don't get it. My sister and her first husband, they lived at Washington and Francisco in the city. And for those who don't know, it's south of 290. And anytime you go south of 290, it gets a little bit kind of like, meh, whatever. And I used to go down there in uniform as much as possible because she had this gorgeous brownstone on Washington Boulevard. So Washington Boulevard was a little bit of a wider street. And they kept thinking property value is going to go up. They lived in like $1 million home, but the property value was just garbage. And she kept telling me they've got homes on Warren, which is right behind her, for sale for like 40 grand and this, that. I'm like, there's a reason why. Mm-hmm. It could be February, 3 o'clock in the morning. You'll have people outside I could never like date someone and say, yeah, meet me at my house at, on Friday night and have her go down there. And all of a sudden she's like, getting harassed like crazy by a bunch of people. You got shootings all over the place. And I used to, for a very brief time, I was a realtor, and I challenged people who were always talking about, how we need, it wasn't DEI back then. It was like, the rich people in the Glencoe area, for those who know, like the Home Alone kind of area is where it was filmed, millions and millions of dollar homes. I'm like, why aren't you people moving your family down to the South Side? It's like, why is it that you guys aren't, if you love it so much, why are you not go buy a bunch of properties and rent them out? Why are you not doing that? They won't fucking do it. They will not do it.
It's because people understand what they won't say out loud. All that people will say out loud when it comes to shitty areas, crime-ridden areas, destitute, poverty-stricken areas is the government needs to do something. That's all they'll say. The government needs to, start a new plan of action, start a new program, start this, do that, spend here, spend there, spend this. When the reality is that everybody knows it's not the spending that's the problem. It's the people that are there that are the problem. Waukegan could be a fucking beautiful city if you just got the shitty people out of it. North Chicago, same thing. If you could stop them from shooting themselves every single fucking day and then attacking anybody that drives through the fucking town, it would be a beautiful city. If you're not going to be willing to be the bad dad and start getting rid of the shitty fucking people that are ruining it for everybody, then you need to stop fucking complaining at the government for what they're not spending.
No, the government's going to keep spending money on shit that people don't appreciate, and they'll ruin.
Yep. It goes back to that. Nobody wants good stuff. They only want bad stuff.
I want free stuff, and they're going to ruin the free stuff like crazy. Oh, there you go. Don't drive south. I tell people all the time, you want to really see Chicago, wait until about 2 o'clock in the morning. Come here in the summertime. Wait till about 2 o'clock in the morning. Go to Michigan Avenue, like get off 90, find your way right to Michigan Avenue, and then wait until it's like 2 a.m. and then just walk south or take a bicycle south. No traffic. You just drive. And then when you start to see the culture change, you'd be like, what? Or my favorite spot, go to the United Center where the Blackhawks and Chicago Bulls play. Is it? Yeah, it is. It used to be Chicago Stadium. And then get on, Pulaski, Madison. It's on Madison, Madhouse on Madison. And just walk east. No, west, excuse me, just walk west. Start walking west, and when you get to Madison and Pulaski, stop. Just chill out for a while. See what it's like there, even in the daytime.
Take the train to the cell. Take the train to Comiskey Park, to the Sox Stadium, whatever the fuck it's called now.
I don't know about that
and
one,
just
dude.
get off the train and walk around anywhere. Any direction you want to go.
I did. So we did. We campaigned when I ran for sheriff. Right across from Comiskey Park, there's projects. Yeah. And dude, we went knocking door to door, and I'm like, Dude, it's like, I didn't care anymore, man. I'm like, this doesn't scare me worth shit. People were like, they had the solid chain, like the cast iron screen doors. Like, what do you want? I'm running for sheriff. Want to talk? Shut the fuck. You slam the door and shit. We actually talked to this. You did talk to some people there, but it was I actually feel safer at Comiskey Park than I do at Wrigley Field with the drunks and the fucking kids. I hate Wrigleyville. I hate it.
Well, here's the thing about bangers as opposed to yuppie drunk white people. Yuppie drunk white people are untouchable in their own brain, and they'll let you know that. So they get really fucking arrogant about shit. Typically, the bangers, if they're doing their banger shit and you're not walking up on them, they're typically, not always, but typically they'll leave you the fuck alone. Mm-hmm. You're not in my world, I'm not in your world. It was the same thing when I was in the MCs. If I walked in my cut, people had a very different reaction. If I didn't walk into my cut, they had another very different reaction. They would get in my face if I didn't have my cut on, but as soon as I put my cut on, which is my vest, it's my colors, as soon as I put my cut on, everybody had nothing to fucking say but respectful shit. Is because you understand. Now we have this point of this point of contention. We know you're in a different life, and I can see that. Well, I never did anything when I was in the fucking MCs to anybody that wasn't, because you're not in my world. If you come into my world and you step on my toes, I'm gonna fucking end your life. But until that day, I don't even know you.
Do you know the nicest?
Have to exist.
You know the most hardcore gang. We had Latin Kings, Stranger 13s. We had Gangster Disciples up there. Do you know the nicest? We had one El Rukin. I think when I was on, he was like in his 50s. With the most hardcore, but most respectful, pleasant, awesome guys we dealt with up there were the Outlaws.
Yeah.
Nobody else. We were like, dude, you guys are the coolest guys in the world. Go do whatever. Cool.
If you just walk in this is a lot of it's the interaction. So people they don't understand the culture. It's a gang. Yes, it is. We call it a club, but we know what it is. You don't call it that. If you walk up and you see some red and whites or some black and whites outlaws, red and whites are HAs or Hells Angels, they're rivals. But if you see any of them and any other colors, just walk through the group and be like, hey, what's going on, boys? Just keep walking. They will not do anything to you unless you walk right through the middle of their fucking little powwow. But they're super respectful. They don't want anything to do with you. You are below them. So, if you say hi, they'll say hi. If you say go fuck yourself, they'll kill you.
That's how that is. Cliff, tell everybody again, Savagely Loud, where they got to go listen to why they should listen. Tell them to listen.
Yeah, listen to Savagely Loud podcast anywhere you get podcasts, or you're a fucking communist. And you can find me on Instagram at Savagely Loud, and you can get the podcast link from there. And you can find me also Savagely Loud on Facebook there.
All right, there you go, kids. That's your Monday show. Today was the third. Groundhog Day was yesterday. I think Phil didn't. I don't know what Phil did. I don't really give a shit. Even though it was filmed in Woodstock, Illinois. Good movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. That movie was
that's right. That's right.
Yep, sure as shit was. All right, kids. Spreely.tv. Go check out all the things there and support the channel, support the platform. Free speech. You got the Burn Pit Podcast Report and Opine with Eric Butler. He is doing well. We're going to get him. We're probably going to call him and see how he's doing this week. Evening Rants. Shannon Joy. Pete Santilli. So much more. Free speech social media where you can say what you want. News articles. Maybe some swag that you need in your household you don't even know. You didn't realize it. It is what it is. Also, if you love law enforcement content, don't forget we go live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. You could just go to coptalklive.org. That's coptalklive.org and check out the articles on law enforcement, police breakdowns, all that kind of good shit. And we go live on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. when we take your calls. Have a great damn day. Go help somebody today. And if you cannot help them, just don't hurt them. See you guys later on.